What's good, YouTube? Steel here, and it's that time again. With every new set, there's new expert solo battles, and with new expert solo battles, there's a guide from me. So the very first one that they offer is Beedrill EX, and honestly, when you look at this list, it's very similar to like the Leafeon EM Mega one from the past expert solo battles, which granted does mean our solution is going to be very similar. We have to beat this with all dark and 3 diamonds or less. Technically, you don't have to do it at the same time, but it's how I enjoy to do it, and it's how I like teach how to beat it. But there's two clear things that actually make this list inferior to the Yang Mega one, which is one, none of these Pokemon could deal 120 damage like Yang Mega does. Actually, none of these Pokemon could deal over 80 damage, and there's no Geo or nothing to alternate how much damage it's doing. And the second thing is, without any Sabrina or Cyrus, there's no way for them to manipulate the board, so you have full control of who you have in your active spot, and you could use that to your advantage, as you could either ignore what they're doing and just build up something in the back, or be sacrificing what you're willing to or have to in order to get to the end of just beating them, which is our only goal. Things to be wary of if you're building up your own deck or want to have like a theory is try to keep everything low end, in the sense that you don't want Beedrill or Grunt to command the game. Personally, I rolled the dice and I said, if Grunt's going to beat me, it'll beat me and I'll just try again. Honestly, in our example games, they used it twice and both times it was just tails. I don't believe that will happen every time, but it's not something that I would plan against. Like, realistically, if it gets you, you just try again. You don't lose anything in trying again, which is why I put that disclaimer to like have like the knowledge, or at least the mindset that you might have to try a few times before you beat it. Ideally, you get the hand that you're supposed to, the ideal hand, and you will beat it first try. So without further ado, let's go straight to the deck that will beat this one. Koga Weezing with Muck. If you watched my videos in the past, this is very similar to the list that we used to beat Mega Leafeon. However, the slight tweaks that we did do to that list is the reason why this list is actually successful. I honestly tried with Scolipede, I tried it with Arbok, I tried like multiple versions, and this just happened to be like the best way. And the slight tweaks in this case are that we are playing Sabrina and Cyrus. This deck, with their X speeds and their like how bulky Beedrill is, they love to switch in and out based on like how close to knockout their Pokemon are. In the terms of like Leafeon, since they're not playing Cape, Weezing into Muck is a guaranteed knockout. Whether it's like you poison them, they pass turn to you, they're at 130, you hit them for 120, and then pass back to them, they're knocked out. Beedrill's a little more like a tougher bug to kill, but realistically that's where Sabrina and Cyrus come. For two options, either use Sabrina so you knock out something in the back, ignoring the Beedrill, or when they try to run away with Beedrill, you bring it right back with the Cyrus. Realistically, it might seem like a very minor change or something insignificant, but if you stick around for the gameplay, you'll see exactly how pivotal those cards were and why they're necessary, so that this whole strategy comes together and is able to beat something as bulky as Beedrill. Because honestly, Weezing into Muck won't always get you there. Trust me, the second that you hit them with Weezing, Poison, and Tackle, they'll 100% have the Erica. It's very rare that you'll be able to like have the perfect curve to knock them out. So that Sabrina and Cyrus really make the difference in winning the game. In terms of the rest of the deck, Koga and Leaf are there just to rotate between your Weezing and Muck effortlessly, and communications just for consistency. Like, you might be stuck with like Mucks in hand and you need to evolve into Weezing, or you have Weezings and you're trying to look for your Coughing. And the fact that we're only playing 8 Pokemon, like the 2-2 line of each, makes communication not necessary, but enough so that you get to the pieces you need. And realistically, all we could ask for is consistency and power, because that's how you'll beat these efficiently. Whether it takes like a try or two, but what matters is that you beat it, and trust me, this deck will work, and that's all you could ask for. If you guys have any feedback on how you could either play this better or a strategy you used, feel free to comment down below. I would love to hear other ideas, or if there's something that you feel isn't working and you want a suggestion on something else, trust me, I've tried so many different styles or versions of this deck to get you what I believe is the best way to beat this. So maybe that doesn't mean I've seen everything right. There's certain things I overlooked. There's also like, you could technically split every challenge into 2. Clearly, Clodsire is like a better way of playing this deck as a whole. It could even be like a competitive way to play this deck. But that's enough rambling. Hopefully this list works for y'all. It works for me. If you found this video helpful or enjoy all things Pokemon Pocket, please consider liking and subscribing. And above all else, stay pro. All right, going second, which is the ideal start, because if they go second and they start Eevee into Leafeon, they get like a little too fast, if I'll be honest. But other than that, yeah, like, now we could sort of deal with it because we have like the initiative, right? Also, if you're just trying to beat this deck with just like all darks or whatever, if you just do the what's his name, Clodsire or whatever, the new version of like the much better version of Muck, it's just not 3 diamonds or less, right? And that's what we're trying to do in this video. This is guaranteed Coughing. We got research here. right, Muck and Leaf. Put the coughing down. One thing their deck can't do is manipulate like our board, so they can't. That coughing is safe until we decide to put it up front. So we'll see what we end up doing. Grimer does get one-shotted by Leafeon, as does coughing. Let's see here if they decide to charge themselves. Yeah, okay. We'll probably just go straight into the Weezing then. Let's go Leaf. Yeah, we're behind on energy, but we're okay in sense of like, cause next turn they hit us, we go to 2 energy and they knock. Okay, so what I'm actually gonna do here is build up the Muck, because Leafeon, like tagging it with Weezing, all it'll do is like make them waste Erica's at best. Not that if we set it up this way, we're gonna be able to actually attack with the Muck and knock out this Leafeon. With or without Koga, right? Because they're gonna knock out Weezing or not. Then how do we deal with Beedrill is a good question. We'll get there when we get there, right? Well, there's the Koga. So we could protect this Weezing if we wanted to. We would throw in Grimer instead. I think that's possible. Yeah, and then we Leaf back into the Weezing to poison Beedrill, and that's how we knock that out. Yeah, let's do that play instead. Let's grab back Weezing, and we'll sacrifice the Grimer instead. Technically, I could evolve it into a Muck, but it would only be giving them more time, and not us. Like, we actually want to see this this Grimer get taken down here. Alright, the Beedrill is ready. Something that you could technically play as well is like Cape. So like if they go second, your Coughings and Grimers don't get one-shotted, but realistically, if that's the case, you probably weren't gonna win that game anyways. Like the Cape is only gonna like delay the inevitable. This solo challenge isn't like easy by no means, right? Is another thing to keep in mind. Like it's not just a freebie just because. Another issue that we're gonna run into is Beedrill knocking out an energy from Muck, followed by Leaf only knocking out yet another energy. And that's not, I didn't even consider Grunt actually working. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I didn't build any of my decks with consideration to Grunt when trying to fight Beedrill, because like mathematically I was like, ah, it's not gonna happen, right? Like clearly it could happen, don't get me wrong, but alright, this is perfect too, because then next turn we get to buy an extra turn for the Coughing. I mean for the Muck. Because here we're definitely forced to do this. We'll start doing this. Another thing to keep in track is the Cyrus right here in this situation where it didn't work. So you might actually want to play double Sabrina instead, because the chances of them like backing out something that you want to drag back out is less so, but not impossible, right? Like in that situation, that Cyrus was a Sabrina, we would have won right then and there. So that's something to keep in mind. I'll probably change it for the next example, because this is a clear example of how it does work, so we don't have to get too much into it. Let's go Koga here. I was about to poison out of like that's what I'm used to type of thing. Another option we had was going like straight into the Muck, because now like we have to wait for them to knock out Weezing, because we have used both Kogas and both Leafs, but I think we're fine. goes that energy, but we're fine. Just stick to it. Again, it is important to note that they have no answer to like the backline. They're not gonna Sabrina us. They're not gonna do anything like that. XP would have been scary, but you see now it's like, okay, so the Cyrus does matter because the Cyrus also could win us a game. So that's why I like personally playing both, right? And even though in this case they almost got out of it because they're no longer poisoned, it is weak enough where the Cyrus is going to get us the game, right? So we put on our energy there and just say, get over here. And was it simple? No. Is it easy? Also no. Could it take you quite a few chances? Honestly, it might. Honestly, and if you want to try Scolipede, you can. I personally tried Scolipede because I didn't want to like present the same list. Granted, this is not the same list because I do believe Sabrina and Cyrus are important to beating this list specifically. And as always, we try multiple examples to show y'all that the deck could like do it more than once. But this is a situation where since we're not playing Cape, we could lose like immediately if we don't find like something to back up the line that we're at. But no, we're fine. Yeah, Cape isn't like mandatory because yeah, they'll hit us for 20 this turn, and then so technically Cape doesn't fix the numbers at all once you like really look into what's happening. So it all comes down to if they see Leafeon or not. And unfortunately, we don't have like the coughing to go back into right now. We have the Weezing, but that could only do so much. If we poison Eevee, it doesn't really do much. We could just start building this one up in the back line. Even evolve it. And just see where we go from there. Another use that Cape could technically do is that Muk survives 2 hits from Leafeon, requiring a 3rd one. Also, look, I played around Leafeon and they didn't even like have it technically. Another Weezing. Yeah, I guess if they find the Leafeon, we'll let them knock out Grimer and we'll try to fight our way through it otherwise. If they don't find Leafeon, then we're in a pretty good... Although with double research, the chances they don't find it is very, very low. Well. And this doesn't guarantee nothing. It would technically be a coin flip. Okay, no, they missed it. So we could commit to the damage here. There's coughing finally. So now we really have options. Mainly, they feel like the best one is definitely just to sacrifice this Grimer, though. Because if they don't see Beedrill, although they have to have Beedrill, right? If they don't have Leafeon in this 5-card hand, Beedrill has to be among them. But yeah, we just let the Grimer go, put in Weezing, apply some pressure with the Weezing, and then go right into Muk afterwards. As we have Koga and other options like that. And if we're still talking about pros and cons about Cape, yes, it lets Muk survive 2 Leafeons, but you won't survive two Beedrills, so is it like necessary? Probably not. Alright, let's gas leak here. Also apply some pressure, because if they don't leave, they'll be in range of Muk. Although it's like very low chance that they don't do it, yeah. I mean, Erica, I said leaf, but I meant healing. Alright. There's another Muk, but that one's useless. We could take our chances with Erica, but that's probably not the correct play, because then we have like no backup line. Let's just grab the Weezing back, throw Muk out there, go coughing. And we do win this fight, at least. Unfortunately, again, we don't... It would be great if the number would have hit where it gets knocked out on our turn, like turning back to us. This rocket could be a menace. Okay, yeah. Although it could have, both times, it could have ruined our day if it properly worked. I can't stress how much X speed is not it, right? Like, I mean, the Team Rocket, playing around Team Rocket is just brutal. It's gonna be a part of the meta though, in my opinion. But as far as like against the CPU goes, sometimes it'll work, sometimes it doesn't. If it works, you just restart it. You're not losing anything. Let's evolve here. Technically, since this Beedrill is gonna attack, might as well prepare for it. We could get another coughing here. And although we do have the Cyrus to knock out Beedrill, we could do it at any moment. So I much rather take advantage that this Eevee's here and not have to worry about Leafeon for the rest of the game. Which, to our luck, it was like locked down in the last 4 cards of the deck. And now all we have to do is Cyrus out Beedrill, or if he doesn't like, even if with Erica, it'll go to 70 max. Yeah, which is exactly what Muck does. Yeah, we win with the Cyrus. So actually, I'm glad we were able to basically solidify the importance of having both Cyrus and Sabrina. Although Sabrina never showed up in either example, but there was multiple times where it would have won us the game just by existing. So yeah, clearly this deck could do it. It's a little too similar to the one for the other Leafeon challenge that I did, which I tried not to do, but honestly Scolipede wasn't consistent enough. The Scolipede also works out. It's just like, it took me a few more tries than I would like to. It wasn't as consistent, because obviously you're going for a stage 2 rather than a stage 1. And if you don't care for three diamonds or less and you're just trying to beat it with only darks, then clearly swap everything out, like swap out the Muck line for Clodsire. It has the consistency of Muck and the efficiency of Scolipede in terms of like how fast you're doing it. Plus you're like super bulky. With that said, if you enjoy this content or all things Pokemon Pocket, please consider liking and subscribing. And above all else, stay pro.